Hi Libra, this is your March 2024 tarot reading. Take this as a perhaps 6-week overview. We will look at the energy that came through for February. We'll expand on all of these cards and go deeper to get some clarifying messages, and then we'll bring it right up to the sun leaving Pisces and moving opposite to you into Aries, and of course we will have to look at that Libra eclipse on the 25th of March too. Let's look at this Chariot card for just a moment. So this is about a building and self-esteem for you lately. It's about progress. It's about progress maybe on a financial goal, a residential goal. Maybe you got your driving license, but there has been some sort of a clear marked progress for you, which will result in like a level up in your life. The Chariot really is about taking things to the next level. It's a major arcana card telling me that February is, depending when you're watching this, a month where you kind of had a lot of reason, tangible, and just like a sentiment or feeling for you that felt like greater confidence in yourself, and then you were able to apply new skills. I feel like you have really leveled up lately, Libra, and you may have even found like things are a bit more seamless and there are not so many obstacles in your way. As I record this today on February 9th, it's the new moon in Aquarius. And I noticed at the bottom of the deck, the star card was there, but in reverse, the card of Aquarius. And now that we have the moon, the sun, Pluto and Mercury in Aquarius and this kind of stellium created there, it got me thinking about the recent transit of Pluto into Aquarius. And maybe because Aquarius is that kind of more fixed and rigid air sign, there is a sort of a resistance on your part still to change, I think, or to make necessary adjustments, or to even take some responsibility for something. We'll talk about that radical self-responsibility in a little bit, but I just want to look at the moon card for a moment before we pull some more cards. The moon card is the card of Pisces. The sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February, and you may find yourself dipping your toe in another world, or dipping your toe on the other side of things. There could be a little bit of wildness. There could even be a sensation of being in a weird or wonderful place, or just somewhere slightly unknown to you. You may find yourself geographically in a very unusual or interesting place. There is this kind of feeling of being with people you know, but feeling unfamiliar still. It's an unfamiliar place, but at the same time, it's somewhere you know, or you've seen it in a dream, or you get the sense of like deja vu. It's kind of like a kind of mystical time for you. As the sun moves into Aries, you can no longer deny what's right in front of you, Libra. And this frustration that you feel towards the end of the month, we'll talk about it. It's about a lack of support. It's about you wanting to throw the towel in, maybe prematurely, and the message could be not to give up. But you are starting to see where you are not supported by the end of the month. And I think that's why February has been so crucial for you in building this confidence in yourself and having a lot of progress, so that you don't feel like you're on the back foot or anything by the end of the month. And we'll definitely have to clear up some more cards to see what the eclipse is bringing you this year. But I think, Libra, as I was shuffling these cards too, the High Priestess came not flopping out of the deck. She kind of came out very like dignified and subtly, but it was a clear message like, Libra, this month, especially when the sun moves into your polar sign Aries and exalts there and just shines really brightly, you won't really be able to ignore that situation anymore. And as Pluto continues its long 20-year journey through the sign of Aquarius, which has only just begun, it will be about you taking radical self-responsibility on a long-term healing journey. There are certain things that a lot of us aren't willing to hear or ready to hear, myself included, but we all, and taking radical self-responsibility is not the same as taking blame for something, with the exception of what happened to us when we were children, when we were blameless. We all have a percentage, no matter how minute, of responsibility, self-responsibility for almost or every situation. I know that's kind of weird to hear, because we really can be in this victim mindset and carry it with us for so long. I know that's definitely true for me. And as these series of eclipses in Libra and then following in Aries in early April, conjunct Chiron, we're really going to be stepping into like a feeling of more bravery, more radical self-responsibility, accountability, and really leaving a lot of disempowering victim narratives in the past. Ultimately, like fundamentally leaving them there. Let's look at February. Like, what has this chariot journey been about for you? What's been going on lately with you, Libra? A real sense of freedom. Maybe some of you are visiting, I see Rome, I see a Colosseum here in the background. Some of you are visiting nice countries and places, and some of you have gotten like a license to drive, or some sort of a license, maybe it's real estate or something like that. We have the Six of Cups, very wholesome. And we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so there's something about what's been going on for you lately, Libra, where you are in a sense like kind of going to the past, and this is like a memory from the past, and like accessing past memories, but they're quite comfortable, and it's been a long time for you that it's really even been possible for you to go there. And this is really like showing that, you know, you really have been healing a lot lately, Libra, and February has been such a pivotal month for this inner work and inner journey, and that radical self-responsibility. I won't harp on about that any longer, but that is really a crucial part of shadow work, and we'll say the healing work. Once we can actually even go there without feeling triggered or without feeling like picked on or victimized, we know we have healed on levels that are almost superhuman. So good for you. The Six of Cups is about recently making very wholesome and happy memories with people. And these people feel like your family. They feel like your chosen family, but they could be biological too. This is a card of siblings. It's a card of nostalgia and the past. It's a card of those warm fuzzy feelings, what kind of, well, they get brought up, don't they, when we're with old friends or taking a trip down memory lane. The Ace of Swords has, to me, been very affirmative for you. It tells me that you've been taking classes, that you've been kind of like upskilling a lot lately. And that progress of the Chariot card to me is really about you doing a lot of upskill energy, learning to sew, learning to like tend to things, like learning to look after yourself. This Devil card at the bottom of the deck is about being victimized by the past, but because it's there at the bottom of the deck, I really don't see this as something that you have been working with too much, or in fact maybe you have been working hard over the last course of, who knows, you know, a year, 2 years, however long it's been, to kind of even really like move on from a lot of that. So the grandmother and child here, I think, is really indicative of like reparenting yourself, learning how to look after yourself truly, learning how to nurture your inner child. And with all that love and tenderness and validation you've been showing yourself, and therefore your inner child, I guess, you also have had to be more disciplined with yourself, because real love and true parenting is a bit of both, isn't it? Love and discipline. So it tells me that, you know, you've really wanted to kind of like make sure you have yourself set up where you are. I think a lot of you, like I said, have reached financial goals and residential goals lately. And I think driver's license and like an ability to kind of feel more adult, and maybe you have children of your own and you really feel like, because you've been looking after yourself so much lately, you're really well able to take care of them. But as we move into March, and Pisces season as usual is a little bit of a weird one, especially since there is an eclipse at the tail end of March, although that is in an Aries season eclipse. You know, the moon card for me just tells me that, you know, things can get a little bit mystical, magical, and unknown for you this month. Not scary. It's actually kind of like, I see you just in a really like quirky, random, or even like experimental zone. Some of you may have something lined up, like some sort of a exhibition you're going to, a concert, or something kind of romantic, maybe a poetry reading, or you just find yourself in an unusual place. And there is this kind of like dream-like quality around the whole month of March for you. But let's go deeper. So now we have the Two of Pentacles. This pasta deck, how fun is that? Of course, I'm reading during Aquarius season, so I wanted to pick my quirkiest deck. And we also have the Three of Pentacles. Well, that's like earth energy. So they call them the minutia maybe, in the type of pasta that we're dealing with, but these are pentacles, these are earth energy. So although Pisces is a very watery and formless, groundless archetype, the earthy energy coming through here with the Two and Three of Pentacles to me speaks to you really finding like a solid foundation for yourself in March in a familiar yet unfamiliar territory to you. So it's a journey around you perhaps coming home to yourself, Libra, and finding that kind of like, okay, so Pisces and water relates to both feeling and emotion, and they're different, right? Emotions can really flux, like the Two of Pentacles, back and forward. And the thing about this is, sorry, my phone is buzzing there. So the thing about that is emotion is in flux, and it's very dependent on kind of like external sources, right? That can change our mood. But a feeling is different. A feeling is kind of like something emanating from the soul almost. It's your ability to care about whatever it is you care about, your family, the world around you. Something that, you know, humanity itself, or your connection to the divine. You have a feeling, and it's something also I think about nourishment, nourishing yourself, nourishing your soul lately, Libra. And I think that really comes through in the month of March. I think that there is something about where you are in March, literally location wise, that feels so unusual in a way, because it shouldn't be like this or something, you hear like, but you then are like leading, I'm kind of getting tongue tied here, but you're coming to find a feeling which is not dependent on the ebb and flow of emotions and other people's negative or positive energy on the external, perhaps a feeling of home within yourself, or a feeling of this kind of grounded security within yourself. The Two of Pentacles. Okay, so March is actually a month of decision making, especially around finances. So, you know, actually finances might not be the right word to use. Maybe the word to use would be especially around resources. So our resources can be time, our resources can be skills, and you've been really upskilling lately. And, you know, just allies and partnerships and people around us that kind of like feed into us rather than drain us. But money for sure. And because you've been making progress on your financial goals and kind of getting a lot of like Ace of Sword energy, clear affirmation, triumph, let's go, there's nothing standing in your way. Some of you have gotten the yes you've been looking for in February, which really clears your path. And now in March, it's really a time for you to allocate Two of Pentacles. Decide where you're going to spend your money. Decide what you're going to do with it. Making choices, they're not difficult. They just want to feel in flow. So a good way to tell, I guess, is that, you know, is there much resistance here? Are you hearing, pardon me, a lot of no here? Let me just drink something. Are you sometimes hearing no to your question in March, whereas it was like a yes, a very definitive yes, like go, go, go in February? If you're hearing more like maybes or yeah, we'll think about that, we'll work on that with you, just give us some time, I think that that's a nice like Two of Pentacles energy to kind of rest assured that Two of Pentacles will lead to Three of Pentacles and this will work out for you. And the Three of Pentacles is here, and it's like a building of something, right? A building of a community for you, a building of a feeling, a sentiment from within that you're now, even though this may have seemed like a weird place at one point, you really are feeling like you are building something here, and you're with a group of people that are a lot more like-minded than you may have originally thought. And these people might be both those familiar yet unfamiliar people to you, Libra. And some of you have just like crossed paths, you've seen each other on the street, or you've seen each other from a distance, and there's something that tells me that they're actually going to become more of an integral part of your life as your journey progresses. And it may not be in March necessarily, but some of you are going to be linking with other groups of people, friends, a friend. It's more not like friends. Maybe it is friends from the past, you know, that's been coming up lately for you, people from the past. But I get like that these people are like friends of friends, you know, or they're people you meet through a new team or society or organization or a club or something. Basically, the threes in tarot are around expansion. So you're expanding your community, and people with shared financial goals come through in the month of March. People with shared skill sets, like and common skill sets for you come through in the month of March. So the team at work might be expanding, new people coming and going. Other than that, you might be invited to be part of something that is like around community building, or maybe it's in your local neighborhood when you take your steps outside, like what's to your left, what's to your right, like what's in your kind of couple block radius, Libra. This is something that kind of is like very fruitful and expansive, and you're learning a lot and you're meeting new people, and that's probably why you found yourself in some sort of a zone that feels unfamiliar. If that's not changing for you, if you're just in your usual spot, maybe there's just places that are opening, you know, maybe like new places are opening in your neighborhood, and it's kind of like everyone's saying like, oh, this is new, this is weird, or you're just kind of like venturing outside of your comfort zone a little bit. But yeah, basically making choices this month in March financially is the bulk of things, finding a stable, solid ground, even though things are somewhat unpredictable, but not unpredictable as in like it's like chaotic or feels uncomfortable. It's actually more exciting than anything, because it feels like Pisces energy, quite limitless, and kind of like anything is possible, so why not dream big and imagine what it could be like for you. It's quite a magical and very good time to manifest during Pisces season as well. There's a real buoyancy there and an uplifting quality too. So now we're getting to the point of March where the sun moves into Aries around the 20th this month, I believe, or in March. And Aries is your sister sign. So we're going to be having an opposition from the planets that will be in Aries. I know Chiron will be there. I know Chiron will be there. I know the North Node of Destiny is there. I know that the sun will be there. And that's what's going to make that thing really hard to ignore at the end of March, especially around the eclipse season. I see that the Nine of Wands here, let's just look at it upright for a second to get a look at the imagery. So this looks like, you know, maybe you feel like you could be a single mother, you know, you could be even a single parent, or you could be a single person, and sometimes you feel like you just need more support. You need that community, which is building in March for you either way. This could be somebody, though you could be a carer, you know, you could be somebody who takes sole responsibility or has a duty of care, or sometimes, you know, you just feel like at work you really pull all the weight, or in your relationship sometimes you can feel super lonely and feel like you actually are single at times, which is really difficult if that's the case. I feel like this person is like, the baby is just not cooperating and they're getting frustrated, but there's not a whole lot to be done here. They really are just going to have to roll up their sleeves and continue with it. In the reversal, you're actually getting more of an opportunity to take a step back and sort of assess where, okay, so that's radical self-responsibility again. That's important, but that's part of a very long-term journey. So you're not expected to just maybe there shouldn't be this pressure on you, Libra, at the end of the month to have it all like taken care of. Eventually, I feel like you will do that, and that's like a journey of Pluto through the sign of Aquarius for so many of us. And that might actually, there might be a real breakthrough with that in April with the eclipse in Aries. But anyway, I'm going a little bit off track here. The thing about this person is they can't just be like, okay, well, the baby's not getting fed. They actually do have to continue to take responsibility. But in the reversal, to me, it's saying like, hey, how much of this is yours to take responsibility for? Where can you be supported more? And honestly, where are you not being supported? That High Priestess at the beginning of this reading when I was meditating and shuffling, coming flying out, was really like, to me, saying like, when the planets and the bits and bobs are in Aries, Libra's not going to be able to ignore this situation anymore. So let's have a look and see what that's all about. This eclipse in Libra is a full moon lunar eclipse with the South Node. You're perhaps making a statement at the end of the month around the eclipse, and it's actually going to be a little bit about finalizing, ending, culminating, a high point of focus, a turning point around something that's been going on for you since this time last year, actually, with the eclipse's beginning. That's this polarity point between Libra and Aries. So it's a big deal because you've come a long way on it. And it does feel like there is this kind of like closing out or ceremonial sensation, right? This is a funny card. I don't know. It's like, I just laugh at it. The Builder's Bum. The Eight of Pentacles. So some more earth energy. I really like to see the earthy energy coming through from moving from a weird and wonderful water sign into a kind of forceful, highly energized Aries fire sign. It's nice to see that grounded energy coming with you from March into April. And the Page of Swords here. Okay, that's nice too. Okay, okay, so money really manifests in a great way for you all month. The King of Pentacles here, super abundant. I mean, they're just decked out. Those boots look like a real investment, if you ask me. They look like they're worth a few bob, those boots. They're really fabulous, actually. This whole thing is fab, you know. They have the kind of abundance of the land and everything that's grown for them. There's been a real harvest here. And it's a real sort of like self-sufficiency, independence, and kind of, I'm going to say something very lucrative for you emerges by the end of the month. Perhaps that's you yourself as an infinite resource and all the upskilling and the community you're building and the kind of crowd. Some of you are like crowdfunding. Is that a thing? Crowdfund. I think maybe you know what I'm trying to say. It's like when a fundraiser happens, but it's a big crowd. Anyway, some of you have been working on a fundraiser. Some of you have been allocating or collecting for something maybe humanitarianism, for something kind of charitable, and you know how that works, Libra. It's going to come back in droves for you. But maybe it's something else. You just feel like, you know, you're really kind of bountiful in terms of material prosperity. So I like that. That's a great way to end the month in terms of that sector of your life. So let's have a look at the lack of support. It's frustrating, you know, if this kind of, I'm going to just go with the storyline and it's totally metaphoric, so don't it could be applying to some Libra here literally, but the single mother who isn't getting the support that they need from their community, from their tribe, and maybe it's just hard to fix everything around the house. You have to call somebody in, this plumber has to come now to fix a leak, and that leak is sort of symbolic of something else. The leak of energy maybe, where you kind of have that maybe that's the turning a blind eye, right? Because I said there's something that you can no longer ignore, and it might be a leak, a drip. And what is a leak or a drip? It's just small waste, very subtly, but it's still a drain on your resources or natural resources. Okay, it doesn't have to be a leaking sink, but something that slowly depletes, and you can ignore it because it doesn't feel like it's kind of like immediately detrimental to your mind, body, soul, but in small increments, something been taken away from you energetically or otherwise, or even emotionally, something kind of like somebody nitpicking at you, somebody taking from you just bit by bit. That's really going to result in ultimately a problem that can't be ignored anymore at a certain point. So the thing about that is it's great because it's making you get on top of this and solve that issue for yourself. And it's about this radical self-responsibility. I know, put a sock in it, Kate. But that's kind of where it's starting, like looking at, sometimes they seem like mundane problems or issues, and it's all about sort of seeing like why, asking yourself, why have I ignored this? What part of myself, how have I actually enabled this in some way? And that's where some real healing, and with 8s, transformation can occur for you. But some of you might need to look at plumbing this month. Some of you might need to look at like having a better, like your resources, especially in terms of just things like food and bills and like taking care of the house, taking care of yourself, like no drain, like, every little counts at this time. And it's not to be like super frugal because you're very abundant and things like that, but just so that whatever makes you again feel like very nourished, and this feeling of like you really taking care of yourself is something that's kind of like nice and vital for you this month. A nice breakthrough for you, especially in terms of like publishing, communication, content or expression, self-expression comes through around the eclipse as well in Libra. So maybe you've been really waiting for the last year now to unveil something or to talk about something or to express something. The Page of Swords has a nice clear throat chakra, and this eclipse in Libra, we should probably talk about the people-pleasing element that's kind of we're moving on from. As I record on this new moon actually in Aquarius, which is my 5th house of children and creativity and stuff like that, I'm now realizing I'm like, this could be the last new moon where I'm pregnant, or when I haven't really become a mother yet. So I still have a new moon. There's a new moon in Pisces next month, but the baby could be here by then. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I don't know why I said that. Maybe I'm feeling like this is something to do with the end of an era that's coming up for you too, Libra, right? So the throat chakra expression, not mincing our words. Sometimes I've seen people like speaking a lot of truth online, and the comments are like, oh, this offends me, you should watch how you say it. So don't watch how you say anything. It's your voice. You can say whatever you like, however you like. It's really up to other people to also take radical self-responsibility for themselves and see why they should be thanking you, Libra. Why? Because you've given them an opportunity to see where their triggers are, see where their wounds are that still needs to be healed. So when they're triggered by your words, it's a gift from you. If they don't like it, that's their choice to engage with it or not. And The Libra shadow, which is the South Node in Libra right now, it's exposing the Libra shadow that we all have in our chart, just in some area of life. People pleasing is a huge one. When somebody asks you to say something in a different way or to kind of express your damn self in another way, they're basically asking you to people please. They're basically asking you to close your throat chakra, which is going to cause a whole host of problems for you energetically, physically. If you close your throat chakra and you block any swirling pool of energy in your body, there's going to be a physical ramification or an emotional ramification from that. So don't let anybody tell you how to talk, how to police, or to try and police your self-expression. It's really, or to, God forbid, self-censor. It's kind of really dangerous territory, and I really think that you're just kind of like shedding a lot of that and very much expressing yourself quite clearly. You'll also be rewarded for that, in my humble opinion. Well, Libra, I'm going to actually link below your year ahead reading that I've done recently, looking at all of 2024. I'll link below my thoughts on the Pluto in Aquarius transit that's coming through for the collective. It's happening now and it's a really big deal. It's going to be a ongoing long-term cycle of change. Aquarius is the sign of a new paradigm. Pluto is complete transformation. So we're in for a very collective new paradigm. And it's going to be very exciting and thrilling, I'm sure. Ups and downs, as always with Pluto, extremes. But other than that, I would love if you would subscribe to this channel and leave me a comment, share, like, all of those things would be a really good support. That's another thing about Aquarius, you know, and the Three of Pentacles. This is an era now. It's going to take a while, but institutions will be stripped away over time and communities will be coming together and support and humanitarianism and a lot more collective freedom in expression for sure, but in all walks of life, I think. So really exciting times ahead. Thank you for watching, Libra. I'll see you soon.